Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon, everybody around the world. Welcome back to another One Piece video featuring your boy, Monkey D. Luffy. Get ready for a very spicy deck profile featuring OP08 here on the channel with some brand new upgrades to Purple Luffy decks. This is a list in which I was playing around with an OP07. Now, it has gotten a lot of changes due to the brand new structure deck that we just got out, right? Now, most of the decks lists that you are going to see are going to use a variation of some of these cards here, but a lot of this does change entirely. We don't typically run around with a 10-drop Monkey D. Luffy anymore, Ragnaroks, things of that nature. Typically, like page 1 and ulti combos, you might not see as often because we have to make space for other things. But you might see some variation of these cards here floating around in most Purple Luffy decks. Now, going into OP08, I have two different variations I'm going to playtest today for you guys. This is my first variation of Purple Luffy coming out of OP08. I'm very partial to the 9-drop Charlotte Big Mom, so she's going to be in both variations. But with that being said, there are a bunch of other new cards here that we've gained access to, being the 7-drop Luffy and the 4-drop Zoro. Both of these cards are going to be in every single list that you will probably see going forward in OP08 for good reason. But the deck has gotten a lot of new tools and some very synergistic cards. Being the 7-drop Luffy here is very similar to, I guess you can say, the Purple Uta. You know, very similar, except for she only drops page 1 on board with a -1 Dawn. Luffy, being a 7-drop, he allows you to -1 Dawn and play any Straw Hat in your hand. That is a purple character, by the way. That's 5 cost or less. Play it down for free. So you spend 7, you -1. You get either like a Zoro on board or Sangoro on board for free off his ability, which is really good. It helps you combat decks that go wide very quickly, you know? Considering we ramp very fast here in this build, especially if you go first with Luffy, you have the option to use your leader ability to ramp up to 4 Dawn to play Bon Clay, go up to 5 Dawn, swing in for 6 on your first big hit, which is really nice. Now, that being said, on the following turn, you go up to 7 Dawn, which allows you to play Luffy Taro down and do the thing. I will be showing you guys a different variation here with P. Luffy, but I wanted to show you guys this one first, and then we'll dive into a second one. But I wanted to also play around with this card. This isn't really my favorite, and I didn't use it all too much in like RP Law or any other P. Luffy variations in the past. It's an okay card, but it does give you access to things like the Straw Hat Pirates and the Heart Pirates. So it allows you to draw into things like your Law here and all of your Straw Hats, of course, and use this Kid 5-drop if you guys are going to be utilizing that. And of course, you don't see him here in this variation, but he does make a home here in this deck too. Kid is still very strong in majority of the P. Luffy variations out there, so you can tech this in there if you want to as well. You can go down 2 0-cost events, add in some more 5-cost kids if it's something you want to do. He can make a home here, but this event gives you access to a lot of your builds and a lot of your cards here in the deck. Unfortunately, I'm only running 2, so we don't typically see it all too much. You can change ratios if you want to, obviously, or take this out entirely if you don't like it. Now, in variation 2, we go back a ways, because you have to keep in mind other decks like Katakuri, Pudding, and Nell. Yellow decks are still going to be a thing. So being able to ramp very fast into Magellan, or Magellan, depending on how you want to say it, to slap this on board can really control a Big Mom variation deck. Now, Katakuri has also gotten a bunch of new tools along with the 6-drop Big Mom, which is still going to be a problem. And there's not really much else to say about it. It's a very scary card for the situation that it can be utilized in, and it's not leader locked. Very strong card. But Magellan can really slow down the game, especially against a Pudding or a Katakuri. Stopping them from getting the 10-drop Mom on curve is pretty strong. Now, this also helps you out into other decks such as Marco and Doflamingo. But I digress. I feel like Purple Luffy struggles into Blue Dofi, and I also feel like he struggles into Jewelry Bonnie. That's just from my experience playing with the deck in OP07 and coming into OP08 with the new cards. Obviously, OP07, you really didn't see Purple Luffy at all. So that playtesting into that Bonnie matchup wasn't necessarily a thing. and the Dofi matchup, it was still up in the air because Dofi didn't get his new tools yet. Now, being an OPO 8.5, everyone has gotten access to their new structure decks, all the new cards. I don't think this deck can run over decks like Jewelry Bonnie and Blue Doflamingo unless you see that absolute perfect curve. But I digress. He has gotten a bunch of new stuff, which make this deck very, very strong in the current format. We've gained access to the 9-drop Linlin here, which allows us to sustain into the late game by healing ourselves, especially if we take too many Dawn off our leader ability, or we had to take a couple of attacks because we didn't have the counter in hand. The Linlin allows us to make sure we're healthy enough in that late game to survive in almost all matchups. Now, there are some decks that will still give this deck trouble, like the two I mentioned, and Rono Azoro is another problem. All the extra small attacks can really just eat up your hand very, very quickly, and if you swing in 6 and 7s, etc., that's a bunch of 2Ks that we no longer have. So, be mindful of that. Either way, we're going to play a bunch of games today. I do hope you guys enjoy this one. Remember to smash that like button so we get these videos floating around, and let's get at it. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. We're going to dive into a bunch of games today. Coming at you guys with Purple Luffy, playing into Perona, in which I very much miss playing that leader. I'm not going to lie to you. I want her to get some new cards. I know we do have a bunch of stuff that's coming up here in the upcoming structure deck. Not structure decks, but booster boxes and stuff. Maybe you should get some new spice, but currently, I do miss playing the deck. I might end up building that, and we'll see some more content from me with Perona on the channel here and or at locals. But either way, let's dive back into this matchup and see what we can do here. Truthfully, this should be a very, very easy matchup for us, especially considering we've already seen our ramp pieces and we have some big moms in hand here as well. We can sustain into the late game just fine here in this match with the big moms. They need a lot of cards to throw at Big Mom to remove her on curve, such as like Ice Age and then resting it to drop down Ryuma. They need a lot of things here to get rid of this card. And that's just not it. They need more than just those two pieces, but I digress. We're at 7. We can ramp up, go to 8. I could play down the Law here, which might be the best idea, but I have to get an attack in first before we do it. I mean, we could swing 8 and see if they decide to take it or not. So go 7. I think we have to go 8 here. There's no reason to float over the extra Dawn. If they decide to guard out, we'll play Zoro. Okay, never mind. We're chilling. Yes, they can just rest this. That's totally fine. It's just, we're playing against a draw deck that typically doesn't play a lot of big bodies on board. So, being able to make them discard cards that they just drew is very, very good for us. Yep. Sure. Thanks, Law. Appreciate you. That's 3 big moms. Let's go 5 here. I don't think we should do that, but let's just drop Mom on board. I won't heal them. There's no reason to do that. We could drop the other Law. We'll gain the life, and we'll pass the turn here. See, we're looking pretty good right now. Another Otama. They get another Samurai. Yep, sure. They're going to need an Ice Age here. And some more form of removal. Okay, never mind. Just going for it. I like how we have 2 of those and we actually get a trigger. And we see another one. That's really weird. But okay, game. Luffy. We can get the Luffy down with the Zoro Joro here. Which would be pretty nice. And hopefully Zoro can draw into another 2K counter. I mean, you get bad hands, I get bad hands. We all have been there. I mean, we probably play round 2 if they're game. That's fine. By the way, there'll probably be a few times where I mess up with the Onami and Luffy Taro interaction. Because sometimes I forget when I drop down the 7-drop, I also have to minus a Dawn there again before Onami can go off. So there'll be moments where I probably mess that up entirely. So don't crucify me too much. Let's take the 2K. We'll go 5 the lead. And we'll go 9 here. Nice. But being able to just slap down this many bodies in the early game against a deck like this, oof. There's an Ice Age. I'm already rested. -1 with leader ability. Jack. Interesting. I was thinking she'd probably play like Ryuma there. Jack's a bit expensive, but that's fine if that's what you gotta do. We do have the counter here, but it's not really worth it. I'm not in any form of danger, I don't think, right now. How do we do this here? 5 in hand. 1, 2. I could safely play down Kaido, or play down another Big Mom and just heal myself again. Because now we have 9 Dawn left. Get the 0 cost event and Ice Age out of hand. Love to see it. I think the 8 would just be guaranteed the way it is. Unless they have 2 2Ks in hand. Sanji. This will pop the Rosinante. But that'll put us back to 4 Dawn and we won't be able to play Big Mom next turn if that's the route we have to go. Which would suck. Let's go 8 first. I think this would be guaranteed, otherwise I don't get a hand anymore. Nice. Okay, let's get Luffy down here. I think this is our best play. And then we'll minus a Dawn, 7, 8, 9. We can play Sanji here. Oh, actually, never mind, I lied. That's my bad. Misplays happened. I was thinking we could do the combo with Luffy and Sanji there. But I needed to be one less Dawn than my opponent. That's my bad. Either way, this will still work out. We're fine. We're still chilling. Because we got 6k counter in hand plus the 0 cost event. I'm not worried about losing this turn. Now, there have been moments where I have done that. Where I'll play Luffy Taro into the Sanji blocker. Which is really, really good. And I don't think a lot of people expect it. For you to get 13 worth of Dawn in 2 characters is pretty nutty. So we're at 3 in hand, 1 life open, 1 blocker on board. I think in this situation, if they don't go for game here, they just lose next turn regardless. And they really only have 2 attacks up that they can do. So Jack could be guaranteed depending on how much Dawn they invest on it. We have 9k counter in hand, not counting the card that's left in our life. Gecko Moria. Interesting. Okay, Soldier, Hiyori. Hiyori plays what? There's not really a reason to get the Hiyori from the trash unless she has a card to play from hand with the Hiyori effect here. Okay, so there's a Ryoma. Get rid of the Zorojoro. That's fine. Potentially go 8k with Jack, 7 with lead. Or Jack can... Yeah, because she already activated the leader ability, so Jack can't kill anything on board. They could cycle, but I think going face here is more important. Especially when they have a chance to potentially end the game. So now they could Jack. Toss a Borsalino from hand. 7 into Nami. Interesting. I mean, I'll take it. They have 1 life, 1 blocker on board. We have 3 attacks. So we could drop Kaido, kill the Rosinante, and then just go 8-8-10-5. Or sorry, 8-8-10-6 or 9. We can do this a whole lot of ways. I don't think we necessarily need a Kaido to win the game here, because they have to give me two cards in hand to counter out a Luffy. Now this will be guaranteed. right? So we go 9 here. So this is a guaranteed kill, or damage. Yep. And now we just stack all the Dawn on Luffy and go for face. Or play Kaido and go face that way. They only have 9k counter, so we didn't need Kaido to win the game here. We'll run it back. They had a Suru, a Izo, and You Can Be My Samurai in hand. No, you couldn't have countered out. Sorry. Is that not math? They couldn't have countered out. If we have 9 Dawn open, we have 1 leader swing left. Yeah, you cannot counter out. I'm sorry. There's nothing you could have done there. Where's the other 4K? Because you only had the Izo and the Suru in hand with You Are My Samurai. And I still had potentially 2 attacks left to go with leader and Kaido if I wanted to. Or I could stack 9 Dawn on leader and swing and go 14. So I mean, you only had two 2Ks in hand there. Oof, man. Some people are just salty this game, I swear. I'm assuming this person will end up watching this back at some point, or seeing this video at some point. And I guess we all saw math, so I don't get it. Alright, step back into game number 2 here. Oof, this hand though. Not bad, actually. It's not bad. It's not terrible. We are playing against a slower deck here in Perona, considering that they like to draw a lot of cards. And I don't really have a lot of big threats that I have to contend with, other than Gecko Moria. Or not even Gecko. Gecko doesn't get a lot of value here in this deck, opposed to Rob Lucci. Zoro could be a problem if they are running the 9 cost. Alright. We'll pass it over. I think going second as Luffy isn't always the greatest, but of course you're never gonna fully win the dice roll every single time, right? To be fair. It's just I feel a little weaker going second, depending on my hands. If I go second and I have like Zoro and Bond click, okay, cool. Thanks, game. We'll take those. We'll ramp up here. Go 6. I probably should have ramped up again with my leader ability, but that's alright. Oh. I'm actually glad I didn't do that. I guess I just Ryumaed anyway, so that's fine. Play the kid down. We'll do the kid thing. Then we'll go 7 to face. Or 6 to face, because now we can activate the event here. We'll take the Nami. It's pretty good. I was hoping for a 2k counter at the very least, but that'll do. Ooh, being very aggressive. Sure. I mean, we're already at 10, so... Or 9, so I'm not really worried about it too much. Now we can play Big Mom down, put Ryuma back to the bottom of her life face up, and then call it a day. We need to get rid of the Zoro. It has no counter. We'll do the thing. That'll put us to 9 Dawn next turn. I think our board state is pretty good right now. There's Zoro. So that's kind of a problem. But we have the counter in hand in double blockers, so... I'm hoping we can get at least 1 damage in. That way we can play down a Law here. That'd be really, really good. I think we have the Dawn to do it. Unless they have 5k for this first swing. Nice. 7, please no trigger. Just let it happen. Thank you. So Gecko Moria in a soldier. That's actually huge. Okay. So they have no 1k counters in hand, otherwise they would give me that instead of the Suru. Kid will be guaranteed. And I probably should have done that first, but it is what it is. Ooh, not bad. I guess we can get rid of the 0 cost here. Because one way or the other, one's going to go down. If we get rid of the queen, it's probably the better bet. There's Sabo. Jack, Moria. So that's 2 Morias we've seen go to trash. Zoro's about to hit me quite a bit, I would think. Because he gets 3 swings here with Zoro. 5 into this. I'll guard out. And then if he decides to go for the big moms, then I'll counter out. If he decides to go for life, I'm more inclined just to take these hits, if that's the case. Because 5 cards in hand, the last card in their life has no counter. I think we can kill them next turn. And we get a Kaido off that. This is really risky, though. But dumping my hand for 1 extra life really doesn't help me. Especially when I'm just going to take it off my leader ability anyway. There's that. I had to save the last one because I need the ramp up for the extra damage here. Or Dawn, sorry. Because this allows me to Kaido if I need to Kaido to try to go for game. But instead, let's go 9 first. Okay. Now we can't Kaido the pop the Sabo here. So I think we just have to go for face. Let me think. Let's go 6 here first. Okay, 2k. We can swing in with Queen as well. But let's go Kid first, give our leader the buff. We'll minus the Dawn from the law. I think we're chilling, boys. Because that is 3 on Queen, which will make him a 9k. And then 9 on lead as well. Let's go ahead and jump straight into game number 3. Coming at you guys with P. Luffy playing into King. Unfortunately, I gotta do King like this, man. I'm sorry, y'all. As much King content I've been putting out there, I mean, King did win a flagship as of late. He did. He won a flagship. It was a very janky King build, and I don't know how it happens. But I do want to speak on that real fast before we actually get into this game. King won a flagship with a janky build with the crackers, you know, the Charlotte cracker and stuff, the purple ones. I'm not sure how that was possible, but they did it. I don't know if it's something I'm missing with the interaction with the deck. I just don't see how that could have, you know what I mean? But we don't know the victories or decks he played against or any of that. It's just King did it. He won a flagship. Although it was a small tourney, so either way, let's dive back into this game here. We're playing against King with Purple Luffy. Now, the downside to this matchup is he did not get Onigashima, which does suck if you're a King player. But of course, you can still win without it. It's just an uphill battle. The other downside, King is playing against another purple deck that ramps a lot better than he does. Although we did not get any Bond Clays, so we do have the bodies in hand, though. We can -1 here. We can get Zoro down on board. We can draw a 2k in the Sanji, or we can get another Zoro here as well. Let's take another body. Considering he didn't get Onigashima here, I don't really need to be like passive. I can be super aggressive by just getting bodies on board. And as long as we're going 6 and 7Ks, considering he has Queen on board, we should be fine. Okay, so that's a Rebecca. I'm totally cool with that. Let's go 6 into Queen. Hoping for a counter from hand here. Just let it happen. Okay, so we get a 2K. Did you get it? I mean, it's a little late for Island now, but there's still Island on board just really helps the deck out, especially on the 9 and 10 Don turns. You don't want a leader ability here. Oh, that's awkward. 10 into this. Sure. What do you leave 1 Don up for, though? Interesting. Alright. Let's go huge. Let's go ahead and do the 5K to swing first. 5K to swing first. 5K to face first. 6 here. We'll go 8. And then I will leader ability. I'll leader ability. And then I'll go 11 here with Kaido. I want to put him on 0 as quickly as I possibly can. Because he's on... He goes to 8 Don next turn. He won't be able to do Rebecca Sabo. But he could potentially play down Queen and small blockers if he's running those as well, like the Shikis and stuff. Not really sure what to expect here. Quite a bit of cards in hand now. I don't think that'll save him from, you know, from Kaido next turn, but we'll see. Jack, interesting. So he has Ice Age in hand. Yep. Leader ability, sure. And what do you trash here? Because they get to draw 1 with the Jack, and they still have to trash the card. So another Ice Age. And he passes. That's weird. Ooh, that hand. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we'll probably play 2 more games after this one, maybe. If that. Unfortunately, I haven't seen a lot of good performing Marcos. I'm not necessarily sure if that's because the deck is highly skill-based. I would think it's a highly skill-based deck. When I play it, I feel like it requires skill. But I've also seen a lot of different variations to Marco. So I don't really necessarily know what to look for, I guess you would say, right? Because they're always going to be different. Someone's always going to be doing something techie or a little bit quote-unquote off-meta. I haven't really run into Marco after Marco that's consistent, if you understand what I mean. They're always a little bit different. I've seen some with Ivan or Vonkov. I've seen variations that run the Kid and Killer. I've seen things that run the Jinbei package, the Warlord package. They're all over the place. But I feel like with Luffy, it's not necessarily too difficult, considering we ramp up very, very quickly and we slap down big bodies, which makes it a little bit difficult for Marco to deal with. The downside to it is that card right there occasionally. Pudding can really hurt you quite a bit. But thanks for the Magellan, though. I appreciate it. This will set him back quite a bit. Playing Magellan down against a red player or a blue player can really throw them off curve. Especially when you know they have nothing but rush units. So there's 6-drop ace or there's 7-drop ace. Now they can't play it down on curve for this turn, which is nice. Implying, you know, they might have it. I don't know. I really do like that leader ability. I think Marco's skill is just really, really good. Actually, I think Marco is the better Whitebeard Pirate leader right now, opposed to Newgate. We'll give him the 2 here. I don't think he's going to kill Magellan, or Magellan, depending on how you want to say it. Okay, we go 6. I'll counter out here as well. I don't think he'll swing with Dofi, so I'm not worried about that too much. Speaking of Vonkov, interesting. Alright, so we get a Sangoro here. We're at 8 Dawn. I could ramp up my leader ability, go to 10. We could pop the Doflamingo, kill the Pudding. Or we can play down another Magellan and make him minus another Dawn, which is probably the better play. Because I don't really have to, like, throw all my eggs in one basket. I can kind of take it slow here. Let me... I guess let's run this into the pudding and see what he wants to do. Because he's not going to get down like his aces or his Sanjis, his big bodies, for a little while. So Bon Clay doesn't have a ridiculous amount of value right now. This will just force cards out of hand. And I'm okay with that. We got a 2K. Let's just go 6 into it. Nice. Let me go 8 lead. Now I think our board is looking really good right now. He goes to 7. This could be an ace turn. He could minus the Magellan here and push it to a 3K. And then he could leader ability and push it to a 1K, which Ivankov could just clear. But he'll lose 2 Dawn in the process if he decides to do that. Another Doflamingo. Okay. I'll take those all day. Very defensive build so far. I think he's playing heavily into blue cards opposed to, you know, the red aspect, where red seems to be a little bit more aggressive here in Marco. You can have that, it's fine. He'll minus the Magellan, I assume. Yep. So he's going to clear that off the board. Or he's going to go face. I'll take that. Interesting. Alright. He's got 7 in hand. I think we have to actually go for face here. We need to clear Ivan first. Go 5 into this. Thank you. We'll go 7 here. I'm going to go 7 here. And then let's play down the Luffy into the Zoro. We'll lose a Dawn for this. That's fine. Nice. We'll take the 2K. We'll pass it over. So no matter what he does, if he decides to like Gravity Blade, if he has Gravity Blade here, we have at least 3 other attacks that we can get done, or get through with the following turn. Okay, Rayleigh's a thing. Kind of forgot about that. No, I actually need this on board. As much as I want to just let it go, I need him on board right now. I can get rid of Sangoro. Okay. Kaido can pop this. That's... No. Yeah, 4. That's 5, yeah. We'll go 5 lead. Skillless, I suppose. Well, good game, buddy. Whatever you say, man. As much as I am enjoying Purple Luffy, playing into Green Uta is not what I want to do. I feel like Green Uta is one of those decks that's under the radar that a lot of people aren't just teching for or practicing against. I think she has a very, very solid time in this new format. Very scary deck to deal with. And I also think that Purple Luffy has trouble into most green decks. So Bonnie, Uta can be an issue, and unfortunately, Carrot. Because they all have access to things that allow them to keep units rested on board, or Jewelry Bonnie with her leader ability, keeping your other bodies rested on board. I think green is very troubling for Purple Luffy personally, but maybe that's just me. Maybe it's a skill issue, I don't know. Either way, let's dive back into this game here. We're playing against Uta, of course. We did get Bon Clay on curve, which is nice. We got 1 damage in already. We don't have Law, which... This is the one deck in which always has a ridiculous amount of cards in hand that Law can just get done and get work in for free. And we don't have them here, so that does suck. 4. Brook into Nami, potentially. Or they can just leave up 3 Dawn and play Nami afterwards. I think they have to have a body here on board. Because they want to match us. At most. Okay, so New Genesis, they do have the Brook now. I think that's something that Luffy does struggle with. Decks that go wide very, very quickly. So when I mentioned like Blue Doflamingo earlier, it's very hard for us to defend against that amount of attacks so early in the game. So get a Brook and a Uther down. We do get Big Mom here, our second one, which does suck. There's Kaido. Alright, so Kaido is going to be very, very important here in this matchup. We can pop every blocker that Uta has outside of the 7-cost Luffy. Let's get down Magellan here. We'll do the thing. This will take them off the Luffy curve, which is nice. Anyway, let's go 6k lead. We get a 2k counter out of that, which is pretty good. We'll go 7k face here. Can I get the blocker, please? Okay. That is totally okay with me. I don't know if going down to 3 life this early for Uta is the thing you want to do, but we'll take those. Especially against Luffy, where I can just ramp up and drop Big Mom or Kaido's back to back. Another new Genesis. I got Katakuri off that. Backlight. Weird play. I think I would have just taken the Brook and or leader and swung into it and saved the backlight for a queen. Or a kid. But what do I know? Because you could just restand the Brook at the end of the turn with the Uta ability. So go 6. I'll counter this one out and we'll take the Brook. Another Kaido. Not the greatest hand because we have a lot of big bodies with no counter on them, so we did draw a Law though. 7 in hands. I don't think I'm in any real threat, so I can take it slow and play Law. Ooh, that's a Zoro and oh, love to see it. I am so sorry for your loss. Alright, we need to clear the Brook that's on board. Yo, I'll take that 2 for 1. I will take that. Let's go. Or 2 for 2, sorry. 9 into 5. That actually worked out better than I thought. I guess if they decided to counter out there, it would have felt really, really bad, and we should have just played one of our 9 costs. But considering they decided to let both go, you love to see it. Now, unfortunately, we got to deal with Luffy and Uta here. Alright, 6 lead. Okay, so they draw, I'm invincible. We'll counter out here. Alright, this may seem silly. But here's what we're going to do. We're going to swing 5 to lead, right? No Dawn attach, we're going to swing 5 to leader. They both have blockers up. I understand that. Now, the cool thing about this is, if they decide to block with Uta, I'll run Magellan into Uta, what's for 7k. Nice. Let's do it. Okay. No, we have to go 7 here, because this way it'll threaten us killing the Luffy if they decide to block out. Right? Because they have 4 in hand with one I'm invincible. I think we have to go 7, just in case. So now they either give us a 2k counter, or they block with Luffy and give us another counter from hand. Because they have, again, 1 I'm invincible in hand, and 3 mystery cards. Okay. So that is a 1k counter. Okay. We'll pop the Uta. Or run Kaido into Luffy. This should be guaranteed. Unless the other 2 are 2Ks. Sweet. That was good, man. That was a really, really good play for us. Shanks. Alright, so Kaido's gone. That does suck. If you want to give us an extra card, that is totally okay, but we have to counter anyway. Because I don't want to go down to 1 here, knowing that they have I'm Invincible in hand. Shanks is a very scary card. Queen allows us to get another blocker down, which is nice. Let's go 7 to face first, I think, with Magellan. Actually, let's go Luffy first. In hindsight, I should have swung with Magellan first in case they run with, like, Punk Gibson. Okay, cool. Never mind. 7 lead. Okay. And we're going to play down Queen. There's no chance I'm just going to sit here and go 10k with Law. That is not smart. Get rid of a Big Mom. We get 2 extra cards from that. They both have counters, so we should be fine. Alright, so they're in 6 now. Luffy, Brook. Okay. Katakuri. You know, it's not the board state that I'm necessarily worried about. It's the cards that are in hand. Because they have 1 blocker on board, we can get around that. They have I'm Invincible in hand with 2 mystery cards still that we know of. They should be attaching Dawn to Uta, at the very least for this turn, and then they'll draw 1 more card. You have to put Dawn here because you have Queen up. Right? I mean, I would imagine so. They wouldn't swing for 5 without getting an extra card, right? Okay. So 8 lead. They draw another I'm Invincible. Alright, so that's good. That's good. That's good to know. So we'll take the Law. Shanks will kill the Magellan. Or Magellan. Or he won't swing. Okay. We have the Kaido here. Kaido cannot pop the Luffy, which is unfortunate, but I think we can get around and just get the game without him. So we'll have to go 7, bare minimum, with everybody, because Luffy is a 7k. And then we have 2 cards in hand that they could potentially counter out with. And that's all the counter that they have, so I think we just win the game here. Unless this is a Pump Gibson, and then we're just cooked. I think we have to attack with Law first, but let's go 5. Can we get there? Just in case they had counter here. Nice. I was pretty sure both were I'm Invincible. Was that right? Let's go, boys. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, this will be the last game for the day. We're diving back into it with Purple Luffy playing into Katakuri, unfortunately. This is one of the tougher matchups, I think, in the format for Purple Luffy. And back in the day, I felt like Purple Luffy kind of just bodied Katakuri, because we just ramp up real quick, drop the Magellans, and call it a good day. Now, with access to like the 6-drop Mom, all the new stuff that Yellow has gotten, you know, thus far, and then the 7-drop and the 10-cost Mom, they just rip the life of Purple Luffy players, and it's really hard to come back from that, I think. And I think a good Katakuri could easily win into the Purple Luffy matchup if they see the right pieces. Luffy, to ramp up and to get ahead of Katakuri, you have to see Bon Clay and or Zoro Joro, depending on what you're playing, and Magellan, right? At least from my experience. I could be wrong. We don't have Magellan here to play, which is unfortunate. I need to see him at least next turn or the turn after that before they have opportunity of playing Big Moms down. But I also need to have a board state by that point as well, which is probably not going to happen. I mean, we are a 6k leader, but we only have 1 counter in hand. There's a Big Mom. We'll have the trash card here. I don't necessarily want to heal them. I don't think doing so is the right move either. Alright, so we lose the queen. Kadetsu can swing on me for 6, so we have to get rid of the Frankie in hand. So I can't take 2 damage there for nothing. Okay, so we have the Big Mom. I think we can play Big Mom down and, I guess, put the Kadetsu in bottom of life face up. You know, it's too late now. But perhaps going 8k into the Kadetsu with Eustace Kid was probably the better play. I think that definitely was the better play. Maybe, depending on what he does. Alright, so I guess it works out. He still goes to 3 life regardless. Go 6 lead. Yeah, but still, I think attacking into it with Kid to see if he would counter out was probably the better idea. And then if he decided to counter out, we should have swung 6k into the Kadetsu instead of just giving it to him on life there. Now, if we did take that route, he would still be at 3 life, regardless. He does not have the 10-drop Big Mom in hand, which is great. He did get the new 6-drop off the pudding. And that is a very, very good card in this matchup here, because it forces me to either lose the life or discard 2 cards in hand. With a trash top life here. Big Mom kind of helped us cushion that, which is nice. He's at 9 Dawn, so he goes to 10 next turn. So playing Magellan here is not going to help me either. Let's go 9 into the Big Mom, I guess. Okay, we get a 2k. Let's go 5 lead. Get a Nami. Kaido will pop the 6-drop. Then we go 10 into the Big Mom. Actually, let's ramp up. I'll go 11. This might have been a mistake, but maybe we can clear this. He needs 4k counter. Wow. That sucks. I imagine if we were able to clear it, we potentially could win the game. Knowing that he didn't have the 10 cost Mom. Otherwise, he would have played it last turn. Yep. Yeah, you got it. We only have exactly 13k in hand. 5 Dawn open, so he's going to swing 11 into Big Mom next. We can counter out that one at the very least. If he decides to go that route. Yep. I think we lose now. We don't have the Dawn to play the Big Mom here. We can only go up to 8 if we activate our leader ability. So let's go 11 into Big Mom. We'll go 5 lead and we'll play down Magellan after this. I had to activate the on play ability, so it's not going to stop him from dropping Big Mom. I need another body on board, I think. If he decides the Big Mom here, I have to take this hit anyway. Dang, man, that sucks. You got it. Another no counter. You've got 3 attacks here. Can't do that. If I could, we could sustain ourselves maybe for one more turn. Well, I guess realistically we couldn't, right? Luffy could play down the Sanji here. Let's go 6 first. Actually, 7, 8. Yeah, we can go 7 first here. With Magellan. That's GG, boys. We tried our best. I think if I had to run this back, the only thing I would have changed was the swing there with the Kadetsu instead of putting it to the bottom of life. That way I could try to fish more cards out of hand. Other than that, I think we played the best that we could with the cards that we were given here this time around. This lets us play the Sanji blocker on board. Alright, you got it, buddy. We'll do one more game. That was pretty good. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, this will be the last game of the day. Then we'll dive back into the deck list. I can't really go out like that, you know? Playing against Katakuri, getting that loss. It is what it is. I tried my best. I think I played as well as I possibly could with the cards that were given to me, right? I think I did make that one misplay where I probably should have attacked into it instead of putting the Big Mom to heal it. You know what I mean? But that's behind us. We're moving on. We're playing against Pudding now with Purple Luffy. In this matchup, you guys might typically see Pudding at your locals here and there. I really don't run across too many Puddings, at least coming into OP08. I played Pudding myself quite a bit. Very much enjoyed the deck, but I do think Luffy ramps a lot better. Especially, it's a lot faster, to be fair. Now, getting that Big Mom down back-to-back is still terrifying, but considering we have access to the Magellans and we know how to play around the Pudding by not attacking into her, unless we absolutely need to, you know? Especially on the first hit. If they go first and they swing into you, and then it's your turn and you attack into them, you're really just helping them out by allowing them to ramp into the Katakuri. Just like right here, they can't ramp back up. That's fine. So we get an Usopp out of that. Not too bad. Get a Kaido. Let's go and ramp. Ooh, we get the Magellan here too. They're at 8, so they go to 10 next turn, which gives them access to Big Mom. Let's play down Magellan and slow them down. This way they can't 10 drop. We're at 9. I can actually get down Bon Clay and Magellan at the same time. And then we can use the Katakuri that's on board to boost the Bon Clays here and swings for 7. Remove the Dawn. Yeah, we can just go 7 to face here, right? And copy him. We know that they have Big Mom in life. Okay. We'll go 7 here as well. Sanguro is so good, by the way. Allows us to draw free cards. We'll go 5. So there's the Big Mom. This should get the Brûlée off board. Yep. We'll pass turn. So now they go to 9. So they can't Big Mom me unless they have the 9 drop. I get a blocker down, but we have the Kaido to remove it. I think no matter what they do here, they lose the game, right? Unless they have counter for everything. And that's a 0 cost in life. Alright, so they're going to try to clear board here. That's 10. So 9 and 10k is coming my way. I'll guard out the Luffy. And I think we'll have to let him go the next time if they decide to swing into it. Oh, okay. Cool. And I guess we had the 2k for the 9k Pudding swing as well, so it was probably smart for them to go for the Sanji there. We'll pop the blocker. We'll copy Katakuri here and swing it off for 7. Do you have enough? There's 0 cost event. We can take the extra life here. Go 7 here as well. Another 0 cost. 5. And good game. Purple Luffy in the nutshell. Well played. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome into the end of the video. In today's video, we played around with Purple Luffy. I do hope you guys enjoyed this one. This was a lot of fun for me, especially coming back into Purple Luffy. This is a leader in which I very much enjoy. I love purple decks with the aspect of ramping up, and I can't wait to dive back into Birdcage Doflamingo here in OP08.5. And speaking of which, before we talk about Purple Luffy, I have an updated deck list coming very soon for Doflamingo. Stay tuned for that one. Now, in any case, Luffy in today's format is going to be very, very strong, at least in my opinion, right? And there are some diehard Purple Luffy fans out there, and I would argue that this deck is very good in today's metagame. Of course, you do struggle into some decks out there. I'm not going to hold you and tell you that you don't. I think Jewelry Bonnie is my hardest matchup for this deck. There are others, but this is just a very, very strong deck into Purple Luffy. Being able to have all these blockers on board, resting like the Kaido that they decide to drop down. That way it can't, do its thing. Or the Big Mom that's on board. There's so many different like ins and outs with this deck that Bonnie has a way around, Especially with the Basil Hawkins being able to swing on 7k whenever they want to, which we typically run a bunch of 2ks. So that's a lot of cards that they're getting out of our hand. There are other decks like Doflamingo Blue that is a little bit troubling for Purple Luffy. They go wide very, very quickly with a leader ability allowing them to get a lot of cards off the top of their deck without whiffing. Because nowadays with 8.5, you can typically build a whole deck of Warlords of the Sea and not have Doflamingo miss his leader ability. So being able to combo that off into the new Boa that we've gained access to, or Jinbei, you always have a way of giving your leader Rested Dawn for the leader ability and or getting multiple bodies on board at a time, which is pretty scary into this matchup as well. Now, Luffy does have his very, very strong matchups, right? We all know what those are. He does do really well into a lot of decks in the format. Arguably, the fastest ramp deck that we have right now. But overall, I did have a lot of fun with this one. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Remember to smash that like button so we get these videos floating around. This was the build that I played for the second half of the video. The first iteration of Luffy was this build here, which utilized, or tried to utilize, the 1-drop Searcher and then 2 more of the 0-cost events. But I digress. Pick and choose your favorite. I'm sure you guys have different variations for your Luffys as well. Let me know down in the comments below if there's another variation of Luffy you guys want me to try, or other cards that I should tech in or give a shot. I'm very open to that. I very much like this deck. Either way, enjoy your day. Remember to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you aren't already. I appreciate everyone who's been sticking around with me. I'm back. I'm happy to not be sick. I'll see you guys in the very next video. Stay safe out there. See y'all later.